Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lexi Rose, and today we're going to be reading 3 new books. This is the 4th episode for my A to Z reading challenge and or A to Z book title challenge. Either title works, but in the the title for the video, I just put A to Z reading challenge. It's just easier. So far we have read letters A through I. So we read Assistant to the Villain for A, Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross. What was the next one? Education of Malice by, who was it by? S.T. Gibson. And then From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Gallant by V.E. Schwab, The Hurricane Wars by Thea Gusson, and Immortal Dark by Tegas Girma. So those are the books that we've read so far. So in this video, we're going to be reading letters J, K, and L. First book we have is Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. This is a gothic horror retelling of the Juniper Tree, in which a young witch seeks to discover, I don't know where I got avenge from, in which a young witch seeks to discover her identity and escape the domination of her ruthless wizard father. So we have our main character, Marlinchen, and her sisters all live with their father, and they're basically witches, and they are forced to do things like they have clients and stuff. And I've already read the first chapter of this book. I actually think I read up to the second chapter. Because I went on a walk this morning. Yes, so I'm on chapter 3, actually, not chapter 2. So yeah, I read the first 2 chapters just to get a little bit of a feel of the book, and I have a feeling I'm going to like this one. I really like Ava Reed's writing style. It's very whimsical, and I have no doubt that I will love this book as well. The second book for this video that we're going to read is Killer Instinct, which is the second book in the Naturals series. Essentially, this is like Criminal Minds for young adult readers. We have our main character, Cassie. She is, her gift is profiling people. So that gives you a little bit more context. Like I said, it's like Criminal Minds, but like there's teenage angst involved, and that's a good time. I'm sorry. It just is. Okay, lastly, for our L book, we are going to be reading Lore of the Wilds by Annalisa Brana. This is a new author to me. I have never read a book by this author. I'm very interested in this one. This is a fantasy, not a fan. It's fantasy, but it's a YA. It's a YA fantasy romance. And I think there's a love triangle going on in here. Let's see. A stunning romantasy debut about an enchanted library, 2 handsome fae, and 1 human who brings them all together. And this is what the dust jacket looks like off. You can't see this, but like look at this right here. You see it? Also, the main character is a black girl, and the 2 love interests are black men. That's really fun. Also, this man, he has horns, or I guess antlers. If he has a tail, I'm gonna be so upset. Also, both of their ears are pointy, but his ears are more pointy than his. Also, he's gorgeous. I love him. I don't know his name, and I can't wait to find out his name. None of these books are very long. I think all of them sit about 300 pages each, maybe like almost 400. So we're not going to be here for a long time, but I'm going to have a good time with them. I really am excited for them. So I've actually already read the first 2 chapters of Juniper and Thorn, so let's talk about it. The book starts off with the 3 sisters, Marlinchen, Undine, I almost said Undine, and Rose sneaking out to a play, and they, for the first time, are taking Marlinchen with them because Marlinchen has not been wanting to go. So she goes, and she ends up having a really good time. And she meets the main actor guy, Sebastian, and it's all nice, and she thinks that it's gonna, end there until he shows up at their house the next day. Because they're witches, he wants their services, and so she ends up kind of having a little moment with him. So they have a little bit of a moment. He promises not to tell her father, and her father has some kind of vendetta against people like Sebastian, being his race and ethnicity. So her father's racist. Fun. He has an issue with ballet dancers for some reason. Not sure what that's about, but whatever. So the father gets upset because he sees that his daughter kind of has a little bit of a crush on this guy. And so he punishes all of them and basically forces them to stay inside. Undine ends up getting really mad at Marlinchen because she's like, we went one time. The one time that we take you, we end up getting all in trouble because of something obviously that's your fault, even though it's actually nobody's fault. Like, the dad doesn't know that they snuck out, has no clue, but it's just like, okay, well, you guys all have to stay here now because you guys can't leave the property unless you have the specific thing that allows you to leave the property. It's very bad. I am waiting for the moment when they start like standing up to their father. I am really excited because I don't know what's going to happen. I have never read the original like story of the Juniper Tree, so I'm very interested in where the rest of this book is going to go. So it is the next day. It's actually the next morning. I finished Juniper and Thorn last night. I was able to get the last 2 chapters out of the way. So I am finished, and I ended up giving this cute little odd book 4 stars. I love this book. It's so hard to describe, like, when I think about it. But it does have a happy ending. So there are times where it feels like this book is just a little bit hopeless. But it was a good book. I really liked it. I liked the story. I liked the vibe. I have not read the original, like, Juniper Tree, so I don't know if there's much of a difference between this book and the Juniper Tree. Obviously, this is a retelling, so obviously it's different, but I couldn't tell you the differences. But yeah, I liked it. It got 4 stars. And yeah, I don't know. It's a classic Ava Reid book, and I think that's all I can really say about it. And now we are on our J book. Now this book I'm actually gonna be reading on my Kindle. I don't think I'm gonna read the physical book. Maybe I'll go back and forth. But the second book we have for this video is Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And this is the second book in the Naturals series. So think like Criminal Minds, but for like angsty teenagers. We have our main character, Cassie, and she has a gift for profiling people. And so she's a part of this FBI program where they solve cold cases and stuff like that. And after last time, so after the first book, Cassie hopes she and the rest of the team can stick to solving cold cases from a distance. But when victims of a brutal new serial killer start turning up, they are forced deeper into a murderer's psyche than ever before. Will the Naturals be able to outsmart this killer's brutal mind games? Now that's interesting. This book is a little bit longer than the first book, but knowing Jennifer Lynn Barnes and how she works, it's probably going to be super fast paced because most of her books are. I think the last book might be the biggest, but I could be wrong about that as well. I think I'm going to start this today. I was going to find it on audiobook, but I don't think it has an audiobook version, which is fine. I don't have to listen to every book that we read. But yeah, I'm going to probably read this on my Kindle because it's actually on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so I am actually on chapter 15. I was going to update you way earlier, but I forgot. And then I did actually update you, but I said the wrong chapter. And I had to redo it, and then I ended up reading like 2-3 more chapters because I didn't want to put the book down. And here we are on chapter 15. So currently the Naturals, the FBI program, that's what the FBI program is called, they are working on a new case that is not their normal case. And it is actually a serial killer case where the serial killer that is currently killing is a copycat of the father of one of their friends that is actually in the program, so Dean. So there's 5 kids. There's Dean, Michael, Cassie, who's the main character, Sloan, and then Leah. And they all have like these special abilities, and that's why they are in this program. Funnily enough, the reason why this program even got started in the first place is because of Dean. So this is kind of a case that hits close to home. So currently we have Cassie, Leah, and Michael sneaking out of the house, and they're going to go find leads on their own. And they're obviously breaking the rules, which is very different from the first book, because I feel like in the first book, they kind of, went through how the Naturals program works. Whereas this time, because it's like something that's happening to their friend, they're like, no, we're not going to follow the rules. We're going to go off and we're going to help our friend. And I really like that. So they went to a frat party to find out more leads because the body of the victim was found at a campus. The professor is a person of interest in this case because the person that died was in his class, and the class that they took, the professor was teaching them about serial killers. But yeah, I think that's all I have to add. I don't really have much else to add. I'll probably read 2, 3, maybe 4 chapters. The chapters in this book are not very long. They're about 5, maybe 6 pages each. I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to get this done by, let's see, what's today? Today's Saturday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe next week. Friday, maybe Thursday? Well, I guess we'll see. All right, so I am on chapter 31, and we are on page 237. So we're pretty far into this book. I think the last time we talked, I was on chapter 21-ish. I have to say that I think I like the Natural series so far more than I like the Inheritance Games books. While I love those books, I am really glad that I gave the Naturals a chance because I saw it on Kindle Unlimited one day and I read the first book and loved the first book. I think I read the first book within the span of like 3 days. It's not a very long book. It's about the same length as this book actually. Just slightly shorter. But I am so here for like this Criminal Minds Law and Order kind of vibe, but like with teenagers. And I just think that's such a good idea. And I love this book. I think this book is probably going to be a 4 or a 5 star. I'm more so leaning towards 4 stars because so far it's not like amazing, it's not like groundbreaking, but it's entertaining and it's fun and it's angsty and it's like detective-y, and I'm here for that. As somebody who spent like what, a month binge watching all of Criminal Minds, I am so glad that I found a book that kind of reminds me of it. All right, so I have officially finished Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really like this book, and I was really nervous that this book wasn't going to live up to the first book because I really loved the first book. I would argue that I like the Natural series way more than I like Inheritance Games, and if I had read them backwards, like if I had started with this series first, I feel like I wouldn't love the Inheritance Games as much as I do. I do love that series, but this is where it's at. I really wish Jennifer Lynn Barnes would do more like mystery YA stuff. Because her thing is already YA, but like detective-y, mystery, thriller type stuff. I would love that from her. But I was really nervous that this book wasn't going to live up to the first book. And it actually is just as good as the first book. So, yeah, I really like this book. I had a lot of fun with it. So I didn't actually tell you guys that I started Lore of the Wilds. I just kind of started it and didn't even update you guys on it. So I am on chapter 3 in this clip that you're seeing right now. I'm in the middle of doing my homework. I have a lot of math homework to do because I just started my math class and I'm listening to the book on audiobook. We met our main character, Lore, and she is now in the Fae Kingdom, and she has been asked to translate a book, specifically a magical book or magical books, because they gave her a library. And she is trying to navigate being the only human in this kind of Fae world. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really connected with the main character as much as I thought I would. I like her, but I don't love her. I'm waiting for her to do something to make me love her. But yeah, as of right now, not much is going on in the book, and I don't really have much else to say. I'm sorry about that. I have thoughts. I am on chapter 19, and I'm going to be honest, I don't care. I really thought that I was at least going to like this book, but I don't. And I have notes on my Google Doc to talk about. So, first off, like I said, I'm on chapter 19. I'm about 60% of the way through, right? So, this book, first off, this book talks about how there are 2 male love interests. So, there's Asher, which is this guy. And the entire time, I was like, oh, the other guy is going to be like the king or like a prince or whatever. Because we do meet, is he a prince? A lord? We meet somebody who's royal, but she doesn't have a connection with them. So I'm like, when is this guy gonna come in? Tell me why. I'm about 60% of the way through the book, and the second male love interest just showed up. And all he has done is be mean to her. And I have a bad feeling about Asher because, well, I've had a bad feeling about Asher because we don't know anything about him. We know that he was a guard and he was gonna be relieved of his duties in 3 months. That is all we know about him. These two, I don't really believe their relationship. Lore is very trusting, and it's to a fault. It's like, you don't know anything about this man. You know like 4 things about him, and that is it. And they, like, it's not even like, okay, this is a totally different thing, but ACOTAR, right? A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first book, we have Feyre, and she's with Tamlin. And Tamlin gives her some lore about how things work and who he is and blah, 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 blah. We also get context clues throughout what Tamlin has in his house to kind of understand him a little bit more. But this book, nothing. Like, we're on the run with this man, and we know nothing about him. So that's my first problem. The other issue I have with this book is that it is really struggling to decide on what it wants to be. It's doing too much at once. It's trying to be this cozy little fantasy book, but also have these high fantasy aspects to it. It wants to do both. And I feel like it more so is leaning towards high fantasy and less cozy fantasy, because it's not like about a cute little library. Like, we were in the library for like 4 chapters and then we're on the run and the library's gone. We don't have a library anymore. I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be a 2 or a 3 star. And that's only because of how boring it is. And I don't know what's going to happen in the rest of the book. I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. I think this guy, I have a feeling he's going to betray us, which to me as the reader is not going to come as a shock, because we already, as the reader, don't know anything about him. And we just met this man. We don't really know either one of them that well. Like, this guy is mean to her, and he, they have like insta love, and it's just really weird. She like fell in love with him after knowing him for like 5 hours. I think that it was very odd that he got close to her so fast, and she's a dumb human. Not really beating the dumb human allegations at all. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way real quick because I had a lot to say apparently. I think I'm probably going to be able to finish this today. I think that I have about 3, maybe 4 hours left of the audiobook, and I'm probably just going to listen to the rest of the audiobook. Because I don't know. I want to kind of just be done with it. And I'm going to be honest, it might be a 2 or a 3 star. And I don't usually give out 2 stars, so I'm going to be very shocked if I end up giving this 2 stars. I think if something big happens at the end, which, again, I have a feeling that this book is going to get way too predictable for my liking. But if the execution at the end is good, I'll give it 3 stars. If it's not, it's getting a 2, and we're going to be done with it. I'm sorry. I wanted to like this so bad. And I purposely put it in this challenge because it's been on my TBR for so long. And I finally get around to it, and it's just like, you know? It's really disappointing. We have another, well, I can't even say like we have another Hurricane Wars on our hands, because at least Hurricane Wars wasn't the problem with Hurricane Wars is that it was not hitting the way it was supposed to. But it had a very strong start. And then as the book went on, it's like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, it was a high fantasy being a high fantasy. It was a fantasy romance actually executing that really well. I just think the story is just very lackluster, and I really don't believe the romance between the 2 main characters. It's fine. But I'm going to go. I'm going to stop ranting because this video is probably already way too long. And I will see you when I finish the book. So I just finished Lore of the Wilds. I ended up giving it 3 stars. It almost was 2. And it almost got DNF'd because I was so annoyed with the plot and the characters. And everything about the book was just getting on my nerves. And if you want to know a secret, I skipped to the last 3 chapters of the book. Granted, I was already pretty far into the book. I think I was like at 80% anyway, so it's not like I skipped over much. But yeah, I skipped to the the last 3 chapters, the book still made sense. And the ending was very predictable. And it didn't even like make me gasp or anything. It didn't like it didn't even reel me back in and be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. It was just like, oh, okay, that happened. That's genuinely how I felt about it. I think Lore of the Wilds so far is the book I liked the least. I think I liked the Hurricane Wars more than I liked Lore of the Wilds, and we all know that I did not like Hurricane Wars. I didn't really jive with it. Lore of the Wilds is trying to do so much, but not enough. It's like very rushed, but it's kind of slow. And it's like the main character, Lore, has this insta-love with this man that she's known for like 5 hours. And then this other guy that she's supposed to be like in love with. I don't know. I think they are going to get together now. Spoiler alert, Asher was evil. I think I already knew that. I had a feeling he was going to be evil. His reasons for being evil and the reasons for tricking Lore don't really make sense because he wants this book. He wants to do these things with this book. But she hasn't the entire time. Like, he doesn't even try to take it. He is on the run with her with this book. But at the end of the book, he decides, oh, well, I need it because it's at this place at this particular time. It just doesn't make sense. It's like if his whole point was getting close to her because she could get in this enchanted library and read this enchanted book, then how come you had all the opportunity to get this book, by the way? So now what? Also, his evil side and his good side were 2 different things. Usually when they do this kind of thing in books, specifically in fantasy, obviously it's only usually in fantasy, but they will have the main character meet the guy, right? The guy for the entire time will kind of make up a story about himself to make it seem real. And obviously the main character believes it because he kind of gives her reasons to believe him. So he gives her like little bits of the truth, but also is completely lying to her face. In this book, in Lore of the Wilds, it doesn't work because she doesn't ask questions. She doesn't like have this moment of like, what's your angle? Why are you helping me? It's just like, oh, well, he's helping me because he likes me. Like, that's it. Like, she doesn't even question why all of a sudden he cares about her and wants to, like, be friends with her and or be close to her. She's just like, oh, well, he has a good reason. Like, no, does he? I don't... Like, and so at the end, when he's evil... turns out he was the Fey Lord the entire time. It does not shock me. I'm like, you didn't know this man. You don't know him. And the other guy she's supposed to have a romance with doesn't really like her until it's time for the other guy to be evil. It's like, oh, well, I loved you the entire time. No, you didn't. But anyway, enough about that. I think my favorite book out of the 3 that we read was Killer Instinct. I loved that one. And then I really loved Juniper and Thorn. Granted, Juniper and Thorn was a little weird, but like it still was a decent read. Like I really did enjoy it. Okay, so I never did an outro for this video at all. It just got cut off and I never said goodbye. I think after the clip you just saw, I just went to bed. Like I just was like, well, it's fine. I never said like goodbye or whatever. I just went to bed. Yeah, I think the last time you saw me, I was talking about what books were my favorite for this part. And in the next part, we're going to be reading letters M, N, and O. And we're going to be reading Masters of Death by Olivia Blake, which will be the first time I've read a book by her. And then Night of the Witch by Beth Rash and Sarah Revis. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And then originally... I was going to read Oathbound for the O book, but I decided I did not want to read a 7-page book right now. A 700-page book right now. And I switched it out with something else. So you're going to have to watch the next video to figure out what I switched it out for. And with that being said, I think that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a very interesting part considering of how much I disliked the very last book that we read. But all in all, I think it was fun. So I will see you guys in the next part. And I hope you have a great week, depending on when this goes out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.